Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's course. I just messed up. I'm not gonna restart though. Here we go. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from not the Commander's course studio. There we go. It's pretty obvious that this is not the current studio. I might have done some major remodeling to it, but yeah, no, I did not tear it down. I will be back to the new studio here in a little bit, but yeah. I am currently recording here because hey, lots of exciting things are happening. Goodness gracious, if you haven't seen the news, a ton of leaks. This just keeps happening. Goodness gracious, Wizards, get it together, okay? So apparently, yeah, we've got some Dungeons and Dragons, like for the movie, essentially. It looks like they're going to have a secret lair, Universes Beyond kind of cards. Again, these are the types of cards that are going to be reprinted at some point as, you know, MTG art, MTG style, essentially. And yeah, I personally, if I'm going to be building around any of these commanders, will be waiting for those versions to come out because I don't really want to pick up the secret lair. So if you want to, that's great. But if not, yeah, the MTG versions typically are a lot cheaper. Like this Stranger Things ones were incredibly cheap. Like I think one of them's like 10% of the actual price of the other one. So yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. And also, again, these are leaks, not officially confirmed that I've seen so far. Comment below if you've heard differently. But yeah, so please keep that in mind. I will have a card list linked in the description below to the cards I'm talking about in this episode. But yeah, maybe don't pick up any of those cards until you are sure that these are actual spoilers. So yeah, with that in mind, let's jump into Xenk. I hope I'm saying that right. Paladin Unbroken, a very interesting. Goodness gracious, I'm surprised we haven't seen a card like this, and I love the potential of it so far. Oh my goodness, I'm very excited about this if you couldn't tell. A 2/4 human knight with double strike that costs 2 white, and it says, auras you control have exalted. My goodness, I love that. So exalted again means that whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets ++1 until end of turn for each instance of exalted among permanents you control. So basically, hey, the more auras you have in play, if you are swinging with a singular creature, like, maybe your double striking commander, it can become huge, absolutely massive in no time. And with auras, it's just very interesting because, yeah, I mean, one direction that you can go is, just Voltron, which is probably how you go anyways, but more Voltron kind of leaning into auras that enchant creature. Now, this can be a very good thing because it can get you to your win condition quicker, but also it can be a little riskier. So there's kind of like a little play to it. I really like this design a lot because, yeah, you can go really heavy on enchant creature auras, just enchanting your commander a ton, making your commander into an unstoppable force. But then you might have, a bit of a downturn if an opponent actually can deal with your commander, and then you lose out on all those auras. Now, there are ways to get them back, obviously, but still. There is another avenue which I really like for this commander, and utilizes different kinds of auras, and many auras that actually see basically no play. And I absolutely love commanders that can utilize cards that see like no play at all, and that they're perfect for these kinds of commanders where it's just like very off the wall and different and terrible in any deck. But then when you utilize them with a commander that's so specific like this one, they can be absolutely incredible. And just again, the worst card of all time in Magic can be one of the best with a commander like this, and I absolutely love that. The design of this, again, I'm very surprised we haven't seen something like this so far, and it's just something that I think is it's a breath of fresh air. I absolutely love it, and I'm excited to see what players do with it. And yeah, I'd love to show you kind of what I have come up with so far. So again, on an episode like this, I'm going to take you through budget buys, cards that are less than $1, they're within my budget, and then also pricier picks, cards that are outside of my budget, cards that are more than $1 but might be within your budget. So yeah, here we go. Let's jump into the budget buys again. All these cards are going to be in a link in the description below, so you can check that out. Don't leave me just yet though. Let's jump into the budget buys, starting off with, oh my goodness, Consecrate Land. This is a terrible card. This is an absolutely terrible card in many situations. It is an enchantment aura that costs a single white mana, it enchants a land, and it makes it indestructible, but also it can't be enchanted by other auras. So, yeah, I mean, my first thought when I saw this card originally a long time ago, I was like, oh, sweet, yeah, like, I'll put like fertile ground, stuff like that on a land, and I'll protect it with it. Oh, wait, no. Nope, can't enchant with other auras. So yeah, just this one. Just this one. So yeah, Consecrate Land, again, a terrible card. It's hard to argue. I mean, you can argue against it if you say it's not a terrible card, but it's like, for most decks out there, the vast majority of commander decks are like, no, I'm not running that. And in this deck, it's like, yeah, that's a great card. You put it on a land. Lands are typically hard to deal with in Commander, and it's actually very frowned upon to deal with many lands in Commander. You can enchant this on an opponent's land. Not, you don't want to do like on like a Evolving Wilds or Mirror Landscape. That can just be sacrificed. But yeah, just enchant this on an opponent's land and just say, oh, cool. Yeah, cool. Your land's indestructible now. Good for you. Also, I have an extra Exalted. Basically because of this. An extra instance of Exalted. So your commander's like, oh, I recognize that. Yeah, it's enchanted on one of your opponent's things, but you still control it. So you just keep that in mind. Or you can enchant on one of your own lands too if you want to make one of your lands indestructible. Regardless, it's a 1 mana essentially just like Anthem for your commander. So it's just absolutely fantastic. And of course, it's low to the ground. You can have a, Enchantress style effects in here, like a Mace Enchantress as well, to take advantage of this as well. We'll talk about some really cool things that you can do with it. But yeah, again, a card that basically sees no play. It's terrible, but it's great with this commander. Speaking of which, Genju of the Fields, another great terrible card. Enchant Plains. Very specific. You're in a mono white deck. You're going to have plenty of plains. Hey, so again, a 1 mana card you can get down early. Again, can be another instance of Exalted, but on top of that, pay 2 until end of turn. The Enchant Plains is a 2/5 white spirit creature token with when this creature deals damage, you gain that much life. It's still a land, so you can use it as an effective blocker. Or, I mean, if you actually really, have a good amount of auras in play, and maybe your commander, like, you don't want to swing with your commander for whatever reason, or you need to gain some life, cool, just, swing with this. It's going to be Exalted, going to be hitting for a lot, gain you a good amount of life. On top of that, when the Enchanted Plains from the graveyard, you may return it from your graveyard to your hand. So if an opponent does have to deal with your plains, you get it back. Cool. So yeah, I mean, that's not likely to happen, but if it does, you get this back at least, and you can just keep reusing it again for more Exalted. Moving on, Ossification. This is another, aura that is hard to deal with, essentially, because you enchant a basic land you control. So again, enchanting a plains. Most players are not just destroying, individual lands, and mass land destruction is very frowned upon in most Commander playgroups. Anyways, so when it enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker and controls until it leaves the battlefield. So basically, hey, chances are pretty likely, unless your opponents really dedicate some resources to actually destroying this, you're going to be able to utilize this to get rid of an opponent's creature or, essentially, planeswalker. And also, when they do that, or when it's in play, it's also, again, an Exalted effect for you. So it's like removal plus an Anthem for your commander, which is absolutely incredible. Next up, Tenuous Truce. This is a really funny one. So enchant aura, and then also it's an enchant opponent. So you put it on an opponent. Again, there's nothing to destroy that this is enchanting. Again, the other ones we've talked about so far are enchanting lands, right? Which, again, are hard to destroy, or just people don't destroy them. This one's enchanting an opponent. Okay, as long as that opponent's still, around, cool. You are going to keep this in play. You get another instance of Exalted. On top of that, beginning of enchanted opponent's end step, you and that player each draw a card. When you attack enchanted opponent or a planeswalker they control, or when they attack you or a planeswalker you control, sacrifice Tenuous Truce. So with this one, yes, it can be sacrificed, but with this one, you want to get really political with it. You want to say, hey, you know what? Me and you are on the same side, all right? We're going to stick around this to the end. I won't attack you with my commander until the other players are dealt with. Same to you, okay? Don't attack me till the other player's dealt with. We both get a lot of extra card advantage out of this. So this is one of those wheel and deal type cards, and yeah, you can definitely do some really exciting things with it. If you're good at politics, you don't even need to be all that good at politics. You can be like, hey, who wants to draw extra cards? And everyone's like, me, pick me. So yeah, just make sure you make some deals with this. Keep it around for quite a while. Next up, Stasis Cocoon. Another great way to, again, deal with one of your opponent's things. Hey, enchant artifact. Enchant artifacts abilities can't be played. If enchanted artifacts, a creature can attack or block. So you could utilize this on a creature. Again, creatures are, the easiest to deal with in many formats, in Commander especially. Hey, a board wipe deals with all the creatures essentially most of the time, right? And those are more common. Now, when it comes to board wipes that deal with all enchantments as well, not as common. So, or ones that deal with all artifacts. And so putting this on an artifact is probably a lot more safer than putting on an artifact creature. And yeah, you just essentially put this on, maybe someone's mana rock and be like, well, I just, took you down a little bit when it comes to mana. And now also, yeah, again, another Exalted trigger for my commander. Again, cards like this that really see no play essentially at all can actually be very effective with this commander. Planar Disruption, a newer card that is somewhat similar, very good. Enchant artifact creature planeswalker, enchanted permanent, can't attack or block, activators can't be activated. Again, you can utilize this in a lot of situations. Again, put it on someone's planeswalker, shut it down. Put it on a creature, shut it down, or an artifact again. A lot of, artifacts probably the safest out of these permanents to put on. Maybe a planeswalker if you convince the other players to not to actually attack that planeswalker since it's now useless. So yeah. Basically, another way to shut something down on top of getting an Exalted trigger. Again, utilizing these auras that, again, don't really see all that much play elsewhere, and utilizing them because they are safer ways, essentially, than just, suiting up your commander with a ton of auras. Now, that being said, we, of course, have auras that we can do, suit up our commander with. Rune of Sustenance is one of them, actually. It's an aura rune. It has enchant permanent. So again, you can put this on anything. If you want to put it on land, put it on land. Cool, do that. It says when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. So it's going to cantrip for you, which is great. And again, just another anthem effect, essentially another exalted effect for you. As long as the enchanted permanent is a creature that has lifelink. So if you do want to put this on your commander, you can. Your commander gets lifelink, which is great. But you could also put it on an equipment, and then it says the equipped creature has lifelink. So that equipment also gets that instance as well. So you can do some different, flexible things with this. Again, you can just utilize it in a safe, the safest way, potentially putting it on a land. You could put on your commander for lifelink. You can put on equipment. You can do whatever you need to do. But again, there's a lot of flexibility, something like this, in a lot of situations where something like this can just make a big impact. Speaking of impact, yes, there are also auras that you definitely want to consider that you're going to just put directly onto your commander, because your commander now can hit even harder, basically 2 instances with this, essentially, right? Enchant creature ++1, it has first strike, and it's got totem armor. So, yeah, again, on top of that, exalted, essentially, on this as well, right? So, basically, like a +2/+2 for just 1 mana. That also gives your commander first strike. And again, totem armor means that if enchant creature be destroyed, instead of remove all damage from it, destroy this aura. So basically, another way to protect your commander as well. Keep your commander in play. A very efficient, very effective card in a deck like this. Speaking of efficient, my goodness, your opponents will not last at all once you get ethereal armor onto your commander. Enchant creature gets +1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. It does not take many at all for this to actually just win you, or not win you the game, but take out one opponent, right? I mean, math-wise, really quick, right? Okay, so if you've got like 2, auras in play plus this, that's +3/+3 for, your exalted, essentially, on your commander. Another +3/+3 on this, because, it counts all your enchantments. So that's what, an extra 6. That would put your commander to 8. So that'd be a 3-shot or a 2-shot KO because of that double strike. You get another, 2 enchantments in play, essentially. That is then a 1-shot KO. So yeah, it doesn't take long at all to be able to take your opponents out incredibly quick, incredibly efficient with a card like this. Now, of course, in the pricier picks, we also have a lot of great cards to consider as well. And yeah, make sure you check out that link in the description below for all of these cards. But now let's jump into them right here. And the first one I just want to highlight is just, again, another old janky card from 1994 back. I think that's Legends, Equinox. Yeah, I mean, this card sees basically no play. Hey, enchant land, tap enchant land with Equinox to counter a spell that destroys one or more of your lands. Cool. So yeah, there you go. I guess you could, again, just start equipping a bunch of these, a bunch of, land auras again, just, onto your lands just to protect them with this. So yeah, again, it's a useless card in the vast majority of circumstances. In the vast majority of decks out there, it's absolutely useless. But in this deck, it's like, hey, do you want like basically an anthem? Again, like exalted, but yeah, do you want basically an anthem for 1 mana and also a way to protect some of your other anthems too, kind of? So yeah, again, a terrible card, but one that is great in this kind of a deck. So yeah, I love just, again, commanders that can utilize, again, janky off the wall, terrible cards that are actually great for that commander. On Thin Ice, a great card, again, if you are going to be, again, using maybe a little bit of a higher budget for this commander, yeah, use snow lands too, because then you can use this. And yeah, typically, I'm just using regular planes, but yeah, I mean, snow basics are a little more expensive, but again, if you got the budget for it, great. On Thin Ice is a great card. It's a snow enchantment aura, and enchant snow land you control. So again, if you just have a bunch of snow lands, like snow, planes, cool, there you go. And then when it enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. So you get rid of any creature for a single mana. Again, on top of this just being hard to deal with, it's on one of your lands. And then also, again, just exalted on top of that. Just basically an anthem for just 1 mana. Low to the ground, efficient, effective, amazing. Flickering Ward. Speaking of which, my goodness, can this card do a lot of work. I mean, okay, there are certain decks that can utilize it potentially better, like ones that have access to even more of those triggers, like more enchantresses, maybe like, a Selesnya commander, essentially. But yeah, you can utilize this in a very effective way with this one still. Enters the battlefield, you're choosing a color. Enchant creature gains protection from the chosen color. Pay a single white mana to bounce back to your owner's hand. So you can basically keep changing whatever color you need to change for it. And also you are triggering, again, those enchantress style effects that you have in play, most likely, with other cards as well, like a Mace Enchantress. So at the very least, though, again, a low to the ground enchantment that can protect your commander, help get your commander through, which again can be huge, again, for taking your opponents out with even just 1 shot. And again, on top of that, exalted. I keep saying that, but it's just absolutely incredible to me. I absolutely love it. Darksteel Mutation. This one is quite funny. Well, funny for you, not funny for your opponent. Enchant creature. Enchant creature is an insect artifact creature with base power down to 0/1, has indestructible, loses all abilities, card types, and creature types. Hey, you know what this is for? Putting it on your opponent's commander and just shutting their deck down. You say, you know what? You've got your cool commander out there. Awesome. Your entire deck's built around the commander. my 2 mana spell is going to shut you down. I'm just going to put this on your commander. Your commander is now a little bug that is indestructible, hard to get rid of, essentially, and yeah, does nothing. So there you go. And on top of that, it is pumping my commander because of all this. Now, keep in mind, obviously, this is also a decent blocker against you, so you probably need, trample or another way to get through. But yeah, this is definitely a card that can be absolutely fantastic in many situations, and just great. Speaking of which, Spirit Mantle. This is a great way to get your commander through basically all the time. Enchant creature gets +1, has protection from creatures. Absolutely incredible. So again, basically, I mean, +2/+2, counting, the fact that it is an aura, exalted essentially. But yeah, I mean, protection from creatures. Your opponents can't block your commander now, essentially. Your commander is unblockable. Also, any abilities their creatures might have can't target your commander. This is a great card. And you just say, you know what? My commander's just going to be coming through. I mean, at the very least, with just this on your commander, attacking with just your commander, unblockable, 4 double strike, that's 8 damage. Again, that is 3-shot KO on any opponent with just the singular aura in play attached to your commander. So again, there are definitely some auras to consider that, do directly attach to your commander. But again, I would have, a kind of wide variety. Again, ones that, can go to, more, permanent permanents. More permanents that are hard to deal with. There we go, like lands. There you go. Next up, though, we got Daybreak Coronet. This card does so many things. If you've ever seen, modern decks with Boggles, I mean, I don't know if Boggles decks use this anymore, but the old ones definitely did. Absolutely incredible rate for this one. Enchant creature with another aura attached to it. So again, if you've got another aura attached to your commander, great, you can utilize this. Enchant creature gets +3/+3, first strike, vigilance, lifelink. With this and one other aura attached to your commander, let's say that other aura does absolutely nothing. Okay, let's just say that, just for math. Okay, here we go. So 2 exalted, +3, that's 5. Your commander's gonna be hitting for 7 times 2, right? Plus vigilant, first strike, lifelinking. So you're gonna be hitting for 14, right? Let me know if my math's wrong. But yeah, again, that's just like a minimum. Absolutely incredible for a low to the ground aura like this. And again, if you have a lot of low to the ground auras, you can get all these out very, very quickly. Again, take more advantage of, again, enchanter style effects. And yeah, sigil empty throne effects too. A lot of great things that you can do. Next up, All That Glitters. Another kind of ethereal armor type card that is absolutely incredible. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. This one counts artifacts as well, so if you do have some artifacts that you're running in the deck, this can help you too with those. But yeah, basically another ethereal armor, another just massive pump effect for your commander that can really help you finish things out. Again, basically with this and just a couple of enchantments in play, you're going to be able to one-shot essentially any opponent if you can get your commander through. Gift Immortality, a great way to protect your commander. Again, hey, when enchant creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under its control, return Gift Immortality from the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. Basically, hey, if the opponent can't deal with it twice, they can't deal with it at all. I mean, as long as it's not bounced or, exiled or whatnot. But yeah, if your commander's just being destroyed, it's coming back. And then this comes back on it. So this is just an enchantment, an aura that essentially can keep coming back. Again, just keep helping out with, the exalted triggers. This can be a fantastic card, a great way to protect your commander. Speaking of which, Timely Ward, a great card as well. Cast it as though it flash if it targets a commander. Again, you're probably just going to be focusing very heavily on your commander with this deck, and most likely you're going to want to get this attached to your commander to protect your commander. Enchant creature is indestructible. A great way to protect your commander, a great way to ensure that your commander, hey, your opponent tries to destroy your commander, you're like, nope, let's just flash this in. Again, maybe it can just be another way, again, with these kind of flash enchantments as well, to essentially be like, all right, yeah, I'm just going to, flash it in right before combat. You might have done your math wrong, essentially thought you were okay. Flash it in right before combat, swing at you, take even more damage than you expected, and protect my commander in the process. So yeah, a great card for this commander. Again, there's a lot of exciting things that you can do with a commander like this. I'm really, really excited about this one. Again, utilizing terrible, I'm so sorry, cards that I'm not making fun of, but just saying that they're absolutely terrible because they are in so many circumstances. Again, Consecrated Land is just bad. It's a bad card that no decks run. And with this commander, it can be absolutely incredible. Again, cards like that can be great because, again, your opponent's gonna be like, what in the world is this player doing? And they're like, oh, by the way, yeah, okay, yeah, it's turn 5. I'm swinging with my commander, and yeah, it's a one-shot KO. So good luck. Yeah, this commander can do a lot of cool things. Again, if you are interested in this commander, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below. Again, do keep in mind, at this point, this is a leak, to my knowledge. It has not been confirmed by Wizards, so make sure that you are wary of that. But yeah, maybe just bookmark it or whatnot, essentially, and maybe pick up some of those cards once this is confirmed. And again, I definitely think this is going to be confirmed. It seems incredibly legitimate, and yeah, I guess we'll find out, though. But yeah, make sure you're staying tuned to this channel for even more exciting quick takes and spoilers and leaks coming out, because yeah, I mean, Wizards apparently it's a very leaky ship right now. Regardless, as always, thanks again, and have a good one.
This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you.
If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.